Wanna play?
Two minutes. What's that?
Swimming attack.
Screaming attack. Where'd you learn that from? A book?
No, my teacher taught me.
Oh, your teacher. Well, forget it. Play like you used to, from the gut. Get your pawns rolling on the queen side. Come and get me.
Put it out. Josh is playing.
See, he didn't teach you how to win. He taught you how not to lose. That's nothing to be proud of. You're playing not to lose, Josh. You got to risk losing. You got to risk everything. You got to go to the edge of defeat. That's where you want to be, boy. On the edge of defeat.
But
what? Play. Never play the board, always the man. You gotta play the man playing the board. Play me. I'm your opponent. You have to beat me, not the board. Beat me.
you're not who I have to play.
You're playing me now. Come on, beat me. Better. All right. Better, yes. Come on, move. Good. Yeah. All right. Better. Yeah. Good. Move. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. Move. Ooh, yeah. Good. Move. Yeah, that's it. Ooh, good. Yeah. What's that?
Mate.
Yeah.
Hello, folks, and welcome to Sid Beat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Gary Hill. With me tonight are the usual folks. Yay! Mr. Jeffrey X. Martin's here.
Hi, my name's X, and I feel like I've had about 40 pieces of room temperature sushi because I'm ready to shit all over everything.
And I'm waiting. See, we'll talk about this later. This is where the generational gap comes in right there. See, just right into X's, anus, and colon right there. See. How are you besides your impending diarrheal problems?
Oh, I'm fine. I can't complain a whole lot. I'm ready for summer to be over. I want fall to begin. I'm an autumn boy, so yeah. Beyond that, I'm good.
Did you bring your Downy bucket with you for all the shitting and the possible puking?
Right next to me, I have a combustible crab boat toilet where I can burn all of my turds and wave the smoke out into the field.
And then a bunch of little Fred Savages start popping out of the garden. It's the Savage Patch Kids. It works really well, that joke, but not really, Oh my gosh. And that's where Paul's flat. Suzanne is here.
Yay! Yes, I am here. I am at the end of week 5 of recovery. One more week to go, and I might possibly be able to set this fucking sling on fire.
How does it feel?
Still having good days and bad days. I was eating pain pills on Sunday like they were going to be discontinued the following day. So far this week has been good.
You were like high when you talked to Tom Atkins on the phone? Because, it's a...
Oh, no, I had just taken one maybe 30 minutes prior because I was pacing around because I wanted my arm to find a comfortable spot. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. Don't ever fuck up your shoulder. Yeah. And especially if you fuck up your shoulder, don't get surgery. It is, and they're telling me it's still... After this, I've got another 6 to 8 weeks, if not more, of physical therapy. I'm like, yeah, we're cutting this shit off around mid-September. If the surgery failed, you know what? I'm going to make this shit work regardless. So, but I'm in pretty good spirits today because one of my friends came over, so we did a little day drinking. And then Pat came home with some good beer. And then we did a little bit of evening drinking. So now I've got a few more so I can begin the night drinking portion of my day. So here we are. Yeah, happy to be here.
Happy to have you, honey, for sure. This is the first show back.
Sorry, I was such a crab ass last time. I was like such a fuck up last time.
It's all right. You're into it now, and it's after the rain, as those Nelson boys once sang, and probably still sing. I don't even know. They're probably still singing, but their hair is not as long. Yeah, if you guys want to know the Tom Atkins story, Suzanne was supposed to go with us on Sunday to this convention, and got her a Tom Atkins autograph. And in turn, asked Tom to call her on the telephone because she's afraid she was going to get bumped. So it was a nice surprise for her. And
I was crying. I was tears streaming down my face.
I and the legend Tom Atkins were glad to provide some joy in Suzanne's life.
It was definitely needed. I was so pissed I couldn't go, but I was in so much pain. And if anybody had bumped me, I think I would have lefty beat the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he said, let your ambassador know that he wishes her well. So Ambassador Tom Atkins wishes you well. Yeah.
That was so sweet.
But yeah, we're here tonight, whatever time it is, wherever you're at. And I'll ask Suzanne first because she's so in pain and she's so talking about how much in pain she is. And she doesn't answer her phone. She's got to be doing something. Suzanne, what have you been watching?
Oh boy. Well, I actually found myself diving into a little show, and I'm not ashamed, but it's really good. I've been watching Bridgerton. Do any of you know what Bridgerton is? It is a little period piece surrounding this early 1800s family in England. It is absolutely fucking fascinating, and it is literally brain candy. On top of that, I've still been watching Deadliest Catch. I did have to admit, I watched a movie that kind of surprised me because I'm kind of over the M. Night Shyamalan shit, but I did enjoy Knock at the Cabin. And then continuing the deep dive, since I literally have nothing else to do with my time, started doing some 70s movies. Went and revisited Nashville, which was, if you've never seen Nashville,
love it.
After you listen to this podcast, drop what you're doing and go watch Nashville.
I heard Ronnie Blakely. Yeah, I heard Ronnie Blakely lay down the song "Dues" in that movie. Yeah, I just for the first time ever, and I just cried and said, "What have they done to you? You know, come on now. You know, I can't wait to meet her in person one day. She's on the con circuit again. And I got to have that Barbara Jean autograph from Ronnie Blakely. You know."
Oh God, no! I want Keith Carradine to sing me "I'm Easy," because he had women lined up all over it was absolutely fascinating. It was a great movie. It was a great character study. I mean, you have to admit, when that movie was made, Nashville was kind of king, and all the different characters, and it was just amazing to watch. Like I said, I watched The Parallax View, watch Clute, which I think is one of the most underrated thrillers ever done.
It's pretty good.
It is so good. It is so suspenseful. You know, I did a couple of space movies, you know, Right Stuff, Apollo 13. Watched Tron, both movies. I still prefer the original Tron is kind of one of my go-tos. I love Tron. It reminds me of being a kid in the early 80s with all of the video game graphics. I fucking love it. So yeah, I had nothing to do but watch movies and TV shows. And I watched the Doors movie again because I read something with Rayman about an interview Ray Manzarek gave that the movie absolutely was nothing even remotely close to what Jim Morrison was actually like. So yeah, I think I'll just stop right there because I could go on for another 20 movies and shows. But yeah, that's pretty much the top of my list for what I've been watching.
Those are some good highlights there, you know. And we'll do a round later on of It Don't Worry Me after somebody gets shot and killed on this show, but I'm not hoping for that, so we may not do that song, you know. That's how Nashville ends. You get real sad, okay? You know. Fucking politics. God damn it. X, what you been watching, man?
Well, I will say this. I know she's been watching Bridgerton, but my favorite period piece is still Carrie. I have been doing a lot of... I've been doing some coverage from the Fantasia Film Festival for Biff Bam Pop, and that's taken up a lot of my time. So I watched a bunch of movies from there, and I will say this. Out of everything that I saw, And I do not know when we will be able to see this in the States, but there is a movie called Chainsaws or Singing. It is Estonian, and it is a horror musical. And I don't think I have laughed that hard in weeks. It
Whoa.
is so good. You have a killer whose name is actually Killer, like that's his birth name. You've got a song where the female lead sings about the male lead, and it's supposed to be romantic about all the wonderful things about him, but she's singing about like his completely unshaven pubic area and how bad he smells. And it's wonderful. And I cannot recommend that movie enough. I hope that it gets some sort of release in North America so that everyone else can enjoy that movie as I did. It is a cult classic already, and I can't wait to watch it 50 more times. It just really, it's so joyful. And there's one guy gets a chainsaw up his ass, but it's so happy. And and I don't know how to reconcile those two feelings. Like, this is terrible. This is wonderful. So I don't know, but yeah, Chainsaws Were Singing is one of the best things I've seen this year, and I hope you all get the chance to watch it.
Yeah, we called and we said it was going to be the best movie on your list. Just from the title alone, and I'm glad we weren't wrong on that one.
Oh my God, it's so stupid good. Oh, I
God, that sounds like a good pairing with Repo.
absolutely, yeah, except it's funnier than Repo, if you can even imagine that. So I would
Wow.
happily buy it on 4K if it ever came available.
Oh God, I can't wait for that.
Anything else, boss, besides your Fantasias that we can't really discuss?
No, I've just been watching my cat, who is currently in heat, creep around and yowl like David Naughton in American Werewolf.
There you go. Oh, birds! And the way you describe it, if you don't have cats, you have a cat that has a case of the hornies. This is exactly the way he described it. They're freaking crawling on their hind legs, on their bellies, and humping the floor in a way, and
Yeah.
meowing loudly. I imagine saying it burns, but
She'll
yeah.
just crawl inside of this cardboard box and stare at me like she's doing something naughty.
Don't look at me. I'm working on some problems here.
Don't watch me.
That's all. Oh my
Son
God.
of a bitch.
Don't look at me.
Watch me, you dirty bastard.
Like the cat Ark of the Covenant. Don't look at it, Marion.
This is not going to end well for any of us.
I had a couple of male cats, and somewhere in the neighborhood we had a female cat that was obviously loose and feral and running around. I swear to God, one of my male cats literally was trying to climb the fucking windows, literally flashing his penis to whoever was going to look, trying to get his dick in this cat.
No, it's their anus. They flash their anus. Anybody look at it will look at it because it's cat anuses.
Oh, and this is Charlie. Charlie was a very, very large cat. I'm surprised he did not hook into the window with those claws.
Charlie was a pimp, man. Charlie just showing the lady cats junk. It's good shit, man.
He was.
That's how I got married the first time.
It's like, hey, I'm fat, I'm solid. You want to fuck?
Can I see your anus?
There you go. Oh my gosh.
They said no, by the way, but that's neither here nor there.
I've watched a lot of Bob's Burgers lately for no good reason. And there's the part where they have the art crawl, the one where they have the art crawl, and Gail just makes a whole bunch of photos of animals with their anuses hanging out, and
Love it.
it's fucking magical. That's a good distraction, Bob's Burgers. But stuff I've watched lately, I have watched. I don't want to go watch anything really new. I watched some old stuff because John Cross recommended it that I watch. Again, another John Cross recommendation. It's called Flokes in the States, but it's called North Sea Hijack, like everywhere else.
Fuck yes,
Sorry.
Roger Moore and his cats.
Roger Moore and his cats. Yeah, Roger Moore. Tony Perkins is the bad guy, and of course the great James Mason. This is a film in which Tony Perkins takes over oil stations in the North Sea, and Roger Moore and his ironclad, red suited for some reason. That's not stealthy at all. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Frogmen decide they're gonna go save the day, and what makes this film good is just how crass Roger Moore is in this movie. He hates women, but he loves cats. He doesn't trust folks who don't love cats, and he's like ironically doing needlepoint throughout this entire movie for some reason. It's like, yes, this is something I enjoy. A man can do this, and a woman is least effective at this. I'm Roger Moore. But
For some
it's
reason,
good for what it is.
on the name alone, I've never watched it because I hated the title.
Yeah, it's decent for what it is. They did get it done in about 90 minutes, which is always good, or something. I don't remember. But Tony Perkins is and Roger Moore are the best parts of that movie, and the fact that at the end of the day, when they save the day, Roger Moore is gifted with a box of kittens. It's kind of adorable, because that they're gonna save the day there, and yeah. What else did I watch? I've been watching a lot of, and don't again. You say you watched something strange. For some reason, I got back into Degrassi: The Next Generation because it's on HBO Max, and I love my Canadian melodrama. And I think I've discussed this before about how special the first Degrassi series was to me, the Degrassi High and Degrassi Junior High, because we didn't have cable back in those days, so you had to have something to watch, and those ran on Channel 11. So you watched a lot of Canadian melodrama about these kids, doing stuff in high school and junior high, and this is why I'm so obsessed with Pat, whose last name I can't pronounce, as Joey Jeremiah, with the hat. They do cons occasionally, but never in the States, which makes me sad. It's always in like Calgary or fucking Ottawa or something. They always do shit out there and never out here. But I don't think they realize the impact on the American audience that they had. Those young punks like myself who didn't have cable television were forced to go to public television. Fancy that, because it's a fucking joke now. Public television, and watch stories about Spike and Snake and somebody getting a drug addiction or somebody having an eating disorder. These were all like real life situations for teens about my age, so it was kind of like an after school special, but in a series. So if you don't like Degrassi or whatever, that's fine. I still enjoy it. I don't know why. Canadian melodrama.
I love it.
Gotta love it, man. That's all it is now. I mean, I discussed with you, like, yeah, I'll put up a lot of dumb shit. I mean, I watch Pretty Little Liars and Riverdale for that reason. It's my kind of sleaze. And when I say, hey, folks, you should watch Pretty Little Liars, you really should, because there's people getting killed on that show. It's like a real life, like, teen version of like a Dynasty or something. With some extra cheese on top. And I really enjoy the stupid stuff like that.
Well, just remember, extra cheese makes everything taste better.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. So if you ever were, tipsy on watching Riverdale, I'd say to check it out, because you'll fall into all the teenagers having sex for no good reason, and all the supernatural shit they throw in there for no good reason, but you're there for it. And yeah, that's well, what else have I been watching? I just started watching. Biography has the I Want My MTV documentary, so I've been watching. I've been watching that. That's pretty fucking good. So it comes in parts, I believe. Everybody's there.
What is that streaming on?
Hulu. It's on Hulu right now. You can watch it on there.
Fuck yeah. That's
there, and Alan Hunter's there, and Martha Quinn's there. The ones that are still alive. JJ can't be there, obviously, but I'm about that far into it, where they're talking about the budding, MTV, and how it's not crazy successful, but the British have come in with the videos, and Sting shows up with his hair dyed and his beard dyed. I'm like, dude, you're old, and they don't care what you look like as long as you can fucking belt out those tunes. So you just keep it clean there, buddy. It's
Oh, that Sting. I had another Sting. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, that Sting probably dyes his hair too, though.
He does.
Probably does too. He doesn't go crazy like the Hulkster with dyeing his beard though. So I guess there's that. Gotta be Hollywood, man, for life. What else? There's not a whole lot more that I can remember. A lot of it I meant to watch. I didn't get to. I watched Event Horizon for another show, but that's going to be on a show. That's going to be on this show, and we'll talk about that later. So, a show that we're all looking forward to. Yeah, that's it for this for my what you've been watching selections. But tonight, this is where the age gap comes in real hard because these are films that came.
Can I say one thing before we move on? Because I want to combine two of the things that you've been watching by saying that I'm a bad man with a master plan, and the ladies call me Tex.
There you go.
So there you go. There's your Bob's Burgers Riverdale tie-in.
I tell Lee Russell to watch Bob's Burgers because the lady Lee Lawrence, she's constantly bringing it up. I keep telling about all these pop culture references that are in there, like the Hawk and Chick episodes are essentially Lone Wolf and Cub.
It's so good. I love them both.
It's so good, and they have so many little references like that I think Lee would enjoy. So I keep telling him to check it out, and I think I'll fall into that Bob's Burgers K-hole like no problem.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But tonight,
that should not have hurt.
Yeah, we'll call this the age gap episode because these are films that came out right around when I was a preteen, people. 8 years old and probably like 12 years old when these movies came out for me. We were doing, I guess, what would you call this? Like child savants, if you will. They just kind of fall into their talents. With The Wizard from 1989, and Searching for Bobby Fischer, I think from 1993, I think, or 92, right around there. We'll confirm that momentarily, but we'll do this in alphabetical order. I'm not sure if they're in X's hatred order because X apparently is gonna just be like the. And today, it's appropriate actually. This is the day. If people brought this up because people were writing shit haikus for Q101, a local radio station, about when Dave Matthews Band emptied their bus.
Oh God!
Chicago City bus. This is the
and
shit.
Dumped 800 pounds of shit on people.
They crashed into them.
Yes, they did. This is the shit-anniversary of the victims of the Chicago City Walk Dave Matthews Band incident, okay? 800 pounds of fecal matter on the public. Some of them probably deserved it.
Dreaming.
What now?
Under the toilet and dreaming.
There you go.
But if you go and read like some crazy Reddits about people that have had interactions with Dave Matthews, he's definitely into butt stuff. And apparently dumping 800 pounds of shit on the unsuspecting public probably gave him a raging boner.
Oh my gosh. But we'll get into The Wizard after we talk about the shit-anniversary in about a couple more seconds. Right after this trailer.
2 tickets to California, please.
That's $226.
Well, we only have $27.30. What does that get us?
Nowhere.
Corey's taking his brother Jimmy on a ride.
These two boys already traveled more than 80 miles across the state.
We've hired someone to find him.
What's his problem?
He's just giant.
But Jimmy's got a secret
You got 50,000 on Double Dragon?
that could make this the ride of their lives.
Look at him. He's a wizard.
He's headed for the video championship.
This guy?
What is that?
Power glove.
Yeah, well, just keep your power gloves up front, all right?
With a touch of romance
I am not kissing a boy.
and a ton of trouble.
Got you.
We're too late.
Sorry about that. You maniac!
They'll get there any way they can.
Emily! Here we come!
It's Jimmy! It's Jimmy!
Come here! Hey!
Now, what do you think you're doing to him?
All his life, you've been telling him to do what you want him to do. How about once you ask him what he wants to do, huh?
Now,
Video Armageddon.
it's going to take a lot of guts,
You can do it!
a little magic,
You're the best!
and the wizard, Fred Savage. The Wizard.
The Wizard from 1989. This is a PG film, y'all. Whatever. Directed by Todd Holland, who did a whole bunch of fascinating things. You know, directed a whole bunch of TV that you may know, like The Larry Sanders Show, Malcolm in the Middle. If you go back into Rabbit Hole, Twin Peaks, Max Headroom. So stuff that's much more fascinating than The Wizard, probably according to my co-host. And according to me, too, it is what it is. But, yeah, this stars Fred Savage as Corey. This stars Luke Edwards, who is a filmmaker of his own. Jimmy, his brother. Jenny Lewis, who is a musician of her own and a producer of her own, too. She's doing some stuff, too. As Haley. Surprised the fuck out of me, too. Wendy Phillips, his mom. Christine. Sam McMurray, his stepdad. Constance Sleazebag Bateman. Regular dad Bo Bridges as Sam, Christian Slater as the older brother Nick, Will Seltzer, who I thought I saw in more things, but I was totally wrong, as Putnam, the bounty hunter that's looking for these children. Where's Lucas at? Lucas is in this movie too, people. Jackie Vincent as Lucas, very very important role in this movie. And if you
He's
look,
Lucas with the lid off.
yes, he is. If you look real close, you will see a young Tobey Maguire as one of Lucas's cohorts in this movie, with like Tony Hawk hair.
Oh, no fucking way.
Yeah, for like a hot second. He goes to go get
Wow.
he goes to go get Lucas's soda. Oh, how do I forget this? And I thought he looked so fucking familiar too. The Armageddon the guy that registers them is a guy actor you may know called Lee Ehrenberg, who's in some pretty cool things like Alice Winter's Freaked. He shows up in probably one of the best fucking Tales from the Crypt episode where he kills Katie Seagal with a guitar, Pete Townsend style. And he has Sam Kinison talking in his ear like a Telltale Heart kind of stuff, and it's pretty good. And last but certainly not least in this film, Frank McRae as Spanky. I'm gonna talk about Frank later in like a character actor, spotlight, because he deserves to be spotlighted. I'll kick it to Suzanne first. I know my feelings about this film. I know my honest feelings about this film. I know my nostalgic feelings about this film. This is the first VHS I've ever owned. That was mine. Suzanne, generation gapped. What'd you think of The Wizard from 1989?
I'm going to be straight up. I appreciate your love for the movie. I know. I remember my first VHS tape, too. This was not that movie for me. I actually had a hard time watching it. I ended up, and I'll get into more of the story, but it was, I couldn't focus on it. It was also, okay, I will say, it kind of took place in the Nintendo age. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. When everywhere and everyone had some video game tournament. But I'm watching this going, oh God, the kid's walking off. Where's the tragedy? So, of course, we do get our tragedy. This is probably the last movie that I found Christian Slater hot in. And I've never watched it until yesterday. In 3 parts.
Not even Cuffs? Come on now. He's still pretty sexy in Cuffs.
I hated Cuffs. I did not like him in
still
Cuffs.
pretty looking in Cuffs, though. I never seen.
No, he really wasn't. That hairline started receding a little bit too much for my taste.
I never said it was good. I just said he was good looking in it.
No, he really wasn't. It was for me, and you mentioned it earlier in one of our talks, was Legend of Billie Jean. That is that, and there was one other movie. Oh, Pump Up the Volume. That was, I just liked him sitting there talking about the cock ring. But then again, that's a story for another time. Anyway, I really did not like it. I didn't like basically, you gotta admit, they sent a fucking bounty hunter after a kid. Come on, that was just unrealistic. And the fact that these kids went across 2 states, once again, I don't know. I did not find anything that I could even remotely relate to in this movie. And usually, somewhere along the line, I can find something that I can relate to. The whole sad story, yeah, you knew it was coming. It was built up from the fucking first frame of the film when little Jimmy is walking and the cops come and pick him up. Come on, it just the evil kids, yeah, whatever. That's a dime a dozen. And like I said, Gary, I truly, truly, truly love your movie taste. The way that you can see into things a lot deeper. But once again, this took place in '89. I was a senior in high school. This was like blood-sucking freaks age for me. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I have weird feelings. Like one day I'll make Suzanne watch the Garbage Pail Kids movie, and then she'll learn why I don't trust.
I have watched that.
Why I don't trust women all the way is Tangerine from the Garbage Pail Kids movie. It's one of those weird things, you know.
Oh my God.
She did die wrong, yo. Come on now.
I honestly, kids in a casino. Come on, that was never, ever, ever allowed. Period. I'm trying to find some little thread in this movie that I want to like and that I want to relate to, and it literally does not exist. I mean, I like Beau Bridges as an actor. Like I said, Christian Slater, at least if I was like 17, it would have been like, ooh, it's Christian Slater. I could just mute the movie now and just look at him. But, I'm way the fuck past that. It maybe if I was younger, but once again, this '89, I was, like I said, into more, God help me, hardcore horror at that point. I just couldn't relate. I remember every single arcade, any place that even remotely had a pinball machine had some kind of gaming tournament going on. The family story really didn't resonate with me. Nothing really resonated with me. I just didn't like the movie. It was a very difficult watch for me because I couldn't find anything to keep me interested in it. I paused it like the 20-minute mark, the 30-minute mark, the 40-minute mark. Finally at the 55-minute mark last night, maybe tomorrow morning I'll go pick up where I am and see if I can find what I'm looking for. So if I fucked up whoever was watching it, I did try to rewind back to where you left it off.
It's fine. It didn't make a difference.
I'm so sorry, X. I apologize, but did I get you back to remotely about the right spot?
I just started the whole thing over. I was just like, whatever. Maybe I've missed something that was good, but I didn't.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't. There was literally, and I think Gary's right about it being the age gap. There was nothing there for me. Nothing. So I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to tear it down anymore. It just wasn't for me.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I've been waiting for this, and it's all going to be from the truth, nuggets of my one brother, Jeffrey X. Martin. How do you feel about The Wizard, brother?
This movie makes you want to step on snails. None of it makes sense, and it's just a huge, tremendously dumb commercial for Nintendo and the overland trucking industry. There is sexual assault, there's kidnapping and thievery, and every deus you can pull out of the ex machina. The whole movie smells like rape and violence and excite bike. This is Lemony Shitbit's series of fortunate events. I wish all of the characters had had a weird, awkward, barely pubescent orgy that lasted maybe 3 minutes and left everyone embarrassed and disappointed, and that's the shame of their entire lives. Every single character in this movie is an asshole. The kids, the adults, even the trucks are assholes. And you talked about the child finder. He's no Tex Cobb, I'll tell you that much. And who in the blistering shit used a power glove? I mean, I never even had a Nintendo. I had friends who had Nintendos, but none of them had the Controller A fleshlight. And I don't know how the kids got into a casino. And I don't know why the adults in this movie kept using terrible language to describe Jimmy. He had PTSD. He's not a dummy. He's not a, quote, retard, end quote. He's not slow. He just has some terrible shit happen to him. And he's dealing with it as well as he can. He's looking at Minnesota and feeling California. So, no, every single attitude in this movie is wrong. None of the dialogue rings true. Everything is just this weird sort of, not even Mad Max, just kind of mildly irritated Max road movie. And I don't like it. You could have cast wacky waving inflatable tube people into every single part of this movie, and it wouldn't have made a friggin' bit of difference.
I agree with you, because I even said that earlier since I can't use my right arm, because you know me, I usually make notes. But one of the things I said earlier when I was talking to a couple of my friends was it felt like an hour and 45 minutes of a Nintendo commercial.
You're not wrong. Even what's her face? The kid, Haley, was just like, hey, I got Nintendo Power magazines to help Jimmy out with his game. I was like, no, you fucking didn't. Did you? Because you're a far
and by the way,
than I ever was.
I had one friend, and honestly, it was great. It was him and his mother were addicted to Zelda. And those phone calls cost money.
Oh, when you could be a Nintendo game counselor? Like that was a real effing job?
Oh, no, there used to be a toll call number to get help when you were stuck in a game. And literally, my friend and his mom racked up, and this was back in the day before cell phones when you had to call. Well, you obviously have to call a cell phone, but off a landline, they would, without even thinking about it, rack up $400 calling to get help through Zelda.
Who would answer
So who the fuck paid that to happen?
Was that like Mean Link Okerlund? Who the fuck would answer that hotline?
Well, apparently at one point in time, it paid fucking well.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
I want to say it was at least $1.99 a minute and like 99 cents for each additional minute. So if you're on the phone for as long as they were and staying at that luxury hotel they were staying at, it had to cost a major dough, and not the $400 or whatever they got from the casino.
By the way, Suze, when I was in 1989, I was already married and had a kid, so that may have with this.
1989. I was in my senior year of high school. Like I said, this was the music, and this is when I discovered blood-sucking freaks. So at that point, I became a fucking freak.
And
so anything, but once again, Gary is completely correct. You and I are the age gap.
And that's
makes sense.
I mean,
it's not the problem with this movie. It's more like, I'm clouded with things in the brain. I will talk about this film momentarily, but the nostalgia is there for 1989 for me, which I was 8 years old. I don't think we would have had a Nintendo, but we fucking wanted one. It was in the Montgomery Ward's catalog, and we wanted the goddamn thing, the action pack with the mat where you could play track and field on that motherfucker, And
oh god,
yeah, the nostalgia's there for me. So that's my biggest thing from this movie, that I have to defend the nostalgia.
And one of the other things, a couple of my friends had younger brothers and sisters, and one of them got the Power Glove for Christmas. And just so everybody's aware, that fucking thing never worked.
That is the biggest lie that this film ever told. Because when Lucas is playing Rad Racer on his television, and he's moving his hand back and forth like he's steering the car,
That shit never worked.
Not how it fucking works. You have to hit the buttons on the glove. So Freddy's Dead did it right because Freddy was pushing the buttons on the power glove that he created in his dream. So that's how you use a power glove. That ridiculous peripheral, which the best Nintendo peripheral ever was the NES Advantage, was like the big joystick with the big buttons, and that was very cool. But this thing was dumb.
Yeah, it's called the Atari joystick. We did much better with that one.
This was like a big, I'd say, 8-inch by 6-inch joystick that you could plug in, and it had like a turbo function on it and everything. You got to make the guy go faster. This was a cool peripheral, but the power glove was stupid. But films like this and Freddy's Dead, especially Freddy's Dead, sold the fuck out of that. And they used it without permission to say, hey, you forgot about the power glove. And I forget what else he says, but that sold a lot of power gloves. So they kind of let it go because Freddy told them to go buy it,
Like, if you've ever seen, like, porn movies where a girl's fucking a gear shift, like in a BMW, that's what that joystick that Nintendo brought out was like.
Oh my god, I almost died.
A large erect
That is funny as fuck.
with giant buttons. But the motherfucker worked at least. It did what it said it was going to do, not the power glove. You're watching this, and fucking Lucas is just showing it off like, hey, look, I got the only power glove in the entire country, and I'm going to use it to move this back and forth. Now, this tech didn't happen until the Wii came out. You could play Mario Kart with the little wheel in the air. You could move the car with the wheel in the air, but you can't do that now. Not in 1989.
I have to admit, when I was about 35, me and my friend, she got her daughter a Wii.
Mm-hmm.
So one night we were drunk off our ass, so we were playing Wii tennis.
Oh yeah, Wii tennis.
Picture two 35-ish women who had had 5 bottles of wine and copious amounts of beer trying to play Wii tennis. I hurt more from playing that because I kept falling the fuck down.
Wii tennis and Wii bowling are pretty good, Oh my gosh. I guess it's my turn now. Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, it kind of is.
The Wizard is a film that, again, the first VHS, this and Turtles 2 were the first VHSs that I owned that were mine. This is what makes The Wizard special to me. Cause I love derelict media. This is why I collect Laserdiscs now, apparently. And you get cool stuff on Laserdisc you can't get on anywhere else. But I digress. Yeah, this film for me though, like you said, the family dynamic is very confusing because you have Christian Slater and Bo Bridges who are the father to Fred Savage and Luke Edwards, but Luke Edwards is only his half brother or something, some shit. Anyway, it's kind of confusing. But yeah, he has this.
We have halves and steps.
And we were talking to the best earlier, and expert of his Rain Man. I was like, come on, man, just say PTSD minor. Come on, man, but the problem is you hear the girl's name mentioned, throughout the film. You hear about Jennifer like throughout the film, but you're not sure who the fuck Jennifer is. It's a sister. That something bad happened to the sister. This is why he's quiet, and he's in apparently undeservedly inside a mental hospital because the stepfather doesn't want to deal with him. Fucking Sam McMurray's like one of the biggest villains in this movie. Fucking piece of shit. But and you get this story like this road movie in a way with these 3 kids who basically have no consequences except when they try to go over the top with some teens, and they steal
get their asses kicked.
Yeah, to get their asses kicked, and this is the thing in this movie. How the fuck they found him, I don't know, but it is what it is. These fucking traveling kids. I have to talk about the only redeemable character of the entire film, even though he does go with the whole idea of the bounty hunter touching her breast is and I'm gonna do this more often because I love character actors. I keep saying this. Frank McRae is in this movie as Haley's trucker friend that I guess they're friends with her father or something. Spanky, and he helps them get the money from the casino, and he helps them later, get Jimmy back, and if you don't know who Frank McRae is, I will give you a laydown of this great actor who's been in many, many things that you've probably seen. Either you don't know him by name. He's often the very loud person in movies, like the captain in Loaded Weapon 1 and the captain in Last Action Hero. But he shows up as a great character in Lockup with good Sylvester Stallone. That's a film to do one day. I love Lockup. He plays a very quiet role. If you guys have seen Batteries Not Included in that movie, you want to watch that very fucking sad 80s movie, make you depressed after you watch it. I do that with films sometimes, to where I'll watch like Turner and Hooch, and then you forget the ending of Turner and Hooch, and you just like question life. Like, why'd you watch this movie? If you're an animal lover, you should have done that, you know.
Now, my big question with Turner and Hooch: where did the puppies come from?
I imagine it's like the end of Man's Best Friend, Suzanne. You don't ask these questions; it just kind of happens, you know. But his career goes back all the way back to the 70s, to where he was in stuff like Dillinger with who was in Dillinger? X, you would know this.
Ben
Oh shit!
Yeah, Ben.
No, that was Capone.
Warren Oates plays John
Warren
Dillinger.
Oates, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right, Suzanne. I'm wrong.
Look at this film.
That's okay.
We're talking about other films outside the Wizard. Dillinger from 72 has Warren Oates, Ben Johnson, Michelle Phillips for some reason, Cloris Leachman, Harry Dean Stanton, Jeffrey Lewis, John P. Ryan, Richard Dreyfuss, and Frank McRae as Reed Youngblood. So the whole point of this is that I love character actors, and that if you guys don't know who Frank McRae is, you probably have seen him in something, because he's been in many, many things.
You should at least watch Used Cars.
Yeah, Used Cars.
Oh, but that is one of my favorite movies. Oh my god!
Movie. Frank McRae's really funny in it. He's got the best facial expressions.
Oh, he does. Oh my god!
In a lot of Sly movies, he's in Hard Times. I forgot about that.
With Bronson.
With Bronson, he's in Fist with Stallone. He's in Paradise Alley with Stallone. He's in Rocky 2 with Stallone. He must have been friends with Stallone to be in all these movies, because he shows up in some Stallone stuff early on. Yeah, I love Frank McRae. You guys should look him up and go watch Batteries Not Included again, because it is a good movie, but it'll make you sad. But back to what it makes X sad in the pants is this movie. Yeah, it is a big commercial for Nintendo and Universal Studios Hollywood. I will admit that, because the whole third act of the film takes place in Universal Studios Hollywood, and they're showing off the rides. You see the earthquake ride, I think.
It's worse than Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yep. You see the King Kong ride. It's like showcasing all these things. But one of the big takeaways of this film, and for a kid like me, you know, who was aching for, I guess, another Mario game, is this is the debut of the best Mario game of the time, which is Super Mario Brothers 3. And again, go back to the logic. This is a game he's never played, but yet he's an ace at it. He knows where the fucking warp whistle is, and he knows how to use it. I think that's shenanigans on the Wizard all the way. It's just that the Power of Love were like the biggest hell-worthy trespasses of this film for me, as an old school gamer. Them just not knowing this, and I will say this: there's two characters in these films, Mr. Waitskin and fucking Bobby Fischer, and this movie Fred Savage, supposed to be guiding these young people into the right direction, but just dropped the ball horribly. You know, I would take my brother on this cross country trip, and then fucking me and my new redheaded friend are just gonna exploit my brother. So technically, Fred Savage is the worst character in this film. And I know his motivations is to say, hey, we'll get this money. We'll get my brother out of this home. You gotta go fucking rent a 2-bedroom apartment there, asshole. I don't think they'll take your credit there, Fred Savage. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's just I don't know the end game. Like in the episode you'll hear before this one, we did Nightbreed. And one of the big questions is, you know, when the doctor is killing all these people and he's blaming Boone for this, when they find like nothing that connects him to the murder, what is his end game here? Is he gonna like kill the world? You know, I think Fred Savage is just trying to exploit his PTSD, brother, which you find out in the end of the movie, why he wants to go to California is because that was the last happy place that his little sister was inside. I forget where those dinosaurs are, but they're featured in like Pee-wee's Big Adventure and stuff like that. And wants to leave her picture there. So I think La Brea, yeah. But this is information that you should have found out before that something tragic happens to the sister, and this is why he is the way he is. But they don't do that because this is filmed towards 8-year-old fucking controller holding knuckleheads like myself, who at the time did not give a shit, about the motivations or their intentions towards his brother, or what the fuck is wrong with Sam McMurray. Why the fuck would you say, hey, I'm gonna grow the slightest amount of balls, mother of fucking Jimmy, and say, you know what? You're gonna put my fucking son at home. He's had some real tragic shit happen to him. Let's try to work it out at home. No, let's go put him in a fucking mental institution.
Oh, she's a bitch.
No, you could tell she's that trophy wife though. To say, I'm gonna go along with whatever, because he brags about it, saying, oh, we spent all this money on hospitals and blah, 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 every time the kid gets loose and blah, blah, blah bullshit. You can tell by
the whole neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. It's just, I'm sorry, it's just not, it's one of those movies that actually, it's so poor in its execution that it makes me upset.
But in the world today, where drugs are just given to children for they can't sit still, if you're a mother who's against us, grow a little balls. Don't be like the mother in this movie and say, you know what, maybe there's something else going on here. And this kid had a known tragedy, so him being in a home is ridiculous. But I love.
So, but the mother is completely fucking ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, she's a trophy wife. She's going along with it.
But no, she's just. I don't see any of their children in the house, and yet she's literally ignoring her son. She doesn't give a shit about anything. No, she gives a shit in the end when there's $50,000 at stake.
They're cheering him on to win video Armageddon,
Yeah, that was complete and total bullshit.
Yeah, the end of the movie is it is what it is, and happy ending. I guess you never get a sequel, obviously.
I did learn that if you put in a sanitarium, all you do is watch television.
Yeah,
that's it.
It works on Halloween.
Like
Halloween, the extended cut. I'm sorry,
How is that not a bad
thing?
My gosh. No. But yeah, I love the banter. When Christian Slater and Bo Bridges are on the road, that's a positive to where they're stopping, putting them at every go there. And I've played Double Dragon. I've never been good at it, but I've never seen somebody score 50,000 points in about 5 seconds. So that's a bunch of fucking horseshit right there.
Here's the thing. Okay, let me jump in here. We jump in here because I have a thing. At no point has getting the high score on a video game been important since Asteroids. It's always what level are you on and how far did you get.
No, but you got like.
I'm sorry, I will interrupt you there. No, there is one that's more important. Galaga. Do you know how hard? Do you have any blisters? Do you know how many blisters I got fighting for that #1 spot on Galaga? That is my fucking game.
My favorite video games. Okay, so yes, I do know. But did that come out before Super Mario Brothers 3 and before the advent of home consoles? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Once games hit home, it was what level are you on? How far have you gotten in this level? Did you see the secret warp pipe hanging above your head? So the 50,000 points thing made no sense to me.
Well, first of all, play Double Dragon.
Agree.
I think you might have got like 20 points for killing one bad guy. So if he's playing the game for about a whole 3 minutes, because he only walked outside for a couple minutes and come back, you're like, wow, you scored 50,000 points on Double Dragon? It's fucking impossible in 3 minutes. I don't think it's possible, period. Yeah, I'll have like Will's Wheeler like bullet burning on my neck. But yeah. It's not
Did you guys ever watch? My favorite episode of South Park is the World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, it's good.
And I actually had the T-shirt that had what was it? The sword of 10,000 truths. I actually had a T-shirt that had the little USB stick that said the sword of 1,000 truths. But I'm an old school. I mean, I love role playing games. You know, I was so into EverQuest that I had two groups set up: my before work group and my after work group and my weekend group. So we could all get together. We had the right combination of everything. It was a weird time. It was not a good time, but no, EverQuest ruled my life for about a year and a half.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but this feel like I said.
I was like, I actually gave up trying to socialize with humans because, oh wait, gotta get home. My 5:30 group is about to get together, and I don't want to have to sit there and freaking portal all over the universe to try to get to them and miss out on my XP, which was stupid on my part.
Yeah, this film though, I have to close out my thoughts on it because again, it's mostly nostalgia, and I watch it today, and I'll watch it tomorrow if I want to. It's just it's one of those things that stuck around, you know, more than likely. Like I forgot to mention that I watched Last Starfighter, you know, in the opening there, but it's one of those films that, you know, I enjoy. I turn on from the '80s, and I'm sorry. If I had to go there, this is a big tangent, but Alex from Last Starfighter is less of a whiner than fucking Luke Skywalker. So I choose Last Starfighter over Star Wars pretty much any day of the week. You know, it's strange, but yeah, the Wizard is fine. Todd Holland obviously made better things before and after the Wizard as far as like relevance. If I had to pick a film like this and say, hey, this is relevant for today. Well, I guess in the world of online competitive gaming, I guess is relevant in that sense, but that's about where it stays. And they made like a bunch of these movies of kids on the road for no reason, and Six Pack is a much better movie than this because you had Kenny Rogers at the helm, you know, with these little rambunctious brats on the road, and yeah, this film doesn't work like that. It's all, as I think one podcast, kid power and fucking horseshit, and it's horseshit that I can still get behind and enjoy though. But I get why you guys don't like it. I'll put it that way. You know, it's like with time I reviewed Scott Pilgrim with John Cross, and he kept complaining about it and telling me things that are wrong with it, and I kept saying all these things you're saying are true, but I still happen to love it very, very much. You know, so
completely fair.
Completely fair. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. X, final thoughts, sir, on the Wizard and the rating.
Oh wow, deep breath. We're in trouble now.
No. It's fine. It's just I'm trying to figure out how to rate the Wizard because I was pretty much offended by all of it on a intellectual level. I found it to be a movie that pretended that it wasn't dumb when it was actually incredibly stupid, which makes it the cinematic equivalent of Vanderpump Rules. So I'm on a scale of 1 to 5, maybe a 16th.
Okay. Yeah, I've watched worse films than this. Suzanne, go ahead.
I have too, but I like them a lot more.
I'll talk about this in a bit of worst kid power films that I've seen besides this one. Suzanne, what is your final thoughts and rating?
I hate saying it because I know how near and dear it is to you.
It hurt my feelings.
I really just did not like this movie. I really didn't like it. They had a chance at X, please work with me here. They had a chance to really show some light on a traumatic experience. And yet they exploited it for the sake of Nintendo.
For the sake of Nintendo and for the terrible child bounty hunter character who reminded me of somebody else that I can't think of right now. And I'll come up with it later at a very inopportune time, I'm sure.
That's why I thought he was in other things. He looked like very familiar to me. Like he was in like 10
things.
Yeah,
he did. He reminded me of like 15 different character actors. If you had taken like, you know, those little slide shot kind of composites right down to the damn glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But they had...
He's the worst role that Joey Pants ever had.
Amen, brother. But I just, like I said, they had a chance with some very delicate matter to maybe do something a little special with, and they blew it all on being an hour and 40 minutes of a Nintendo commercial. I'm literally giving this one finger of a Power Glove, which that'll tell you how well the Power Glove works.
You better push the buttons before anything actually happens.
That's right.
Yeah, it actually comes down to this weird-ass contest where who is this fucking MC for Video Armageddon?
He looked like a burnout Morton Downey Jr. to me, you know.
He did, but he sounded like he was about ready to introduce a new match in Thunderdome. You know, two doors
he did
enter,
once
one
again.
Leaves.
Oh my God, that was really. Oh my God, wow, that because I was like trying. That guy was like, once again, I think we're looking at one of those sliding composites. He looked like every freaking comic of the time with kind of the shoulder length freaking mullet and a receding hairline.
He was totally Johnny Dark on Make Me Laugh.
Yeah. Oh God. Holy shit. Perfect. It just, once again, my main issue with this movie, straight up, which is why I'm giving it one finger of the Power Glove, is the fact that it's delicate. It could have been handled in a way that possibly could have been meaningful. But no, they turned it into a fucking commercial. And for that, there is no forgiveness. They squandered whatever goodwill they could have possibly generated. This really was a bad fucking idea of a movie. I'm sorry, Gary.
Susan and I just went off, which is funny because I'm just like, they could have just made everybody's dialogue real simple. Just like, a die, and it wouldn't have been nearly offensive as it is already.
Let's pray I got all this. I lost my connection there, but here we are again.
No!
That's all right. No, I said it's still recording, so let's leave this all on the show because, so while you guys are ranting, I was away. But so
It was probably okay.
I will keep my mouth shut right here and say, hey, these are my final thoughts on The Wizard. And I will say, just like Scott Pilgrim, everything you guys say is right, but I have to still enjoy it. It's fucking dribble of a lost time in the 80s to where all you wanted was that fucking Nintendo. So you watch a film about Nintendo. There was cartoon shows about Nintendo. There was a show I remember called Video Power, to where the kids would play video games for a competition, and in the middle of this, they would show like Nintendo cartoons, like the Legend of Zelda cartoon and Captain Nintendo cartoon, and then at the end, the kid got to run through the maze with a Velcro suit on and strap cartridges to cartridge box to his outfit. And whatever he won after going through this course at a certain amount of time, he won. So you got like 5 copies of Paperboy for no reason at all. I never understood why. Oh
yeah, and that's a fucking prize.
Why the kid wanted strapped 3 copies of Arch Rivals to his chest. I have no idea. He has eyes, he can see. But that was a show in the 80s. I'm sure Willis is like losing his mind right now. I remember that shit right there. Yeah. But the Wizard is fine in my book, but there's a lot wrong. Like I said, I've watched worse kid power films in my time. There's one that I watched on cable constantly. They played it with little Scotty Schwartz, where they were him and his poor family fucking start a manure business for some reason. And Kidco, yes, that's the name of the movie, and it is not a good movie. But I probably watched it at least a dozen times because it was on cable constantly.
Yeah, you know what they always used to play after that? Legend of Billie Jean. Yeah, it was Kidco, Legend of Billie Jean. Kidco, Legend of Billie Jean. And it like I said, at one point earlier, Legend of Billie Jean was one of my favorite movies. And believe me, I was doing that Pat Benatar Invincible dance.
I was convinced for like 25 years that the attempted raper in Billie Jean, the guy that owned the beach shop, was Stacy Keach, but I was totally wrong. It was not Stacy Keach.
No, it was that other dude that. Yeah, it was like pay as you go, earn as you learn.
You know what Brian wanted me to do? He wanted me to bring a Prince of Darkness poster to Tom Atkins and try to have him sign it because they got discount store Tom Atkins, Jameson Parker to play that role in Prince of Darkness and not Tom Atkins.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that to Sexy Tom. You don't do that to Sexy Tom.
Brian wanted me to do that shit. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But yeah, the Wizard.
Oh God.
I will say that I've seen worse kid power films than this one. There's a lot of movies out there that are very kid power friendly. One that I'm fond of, but it's not a great movie in adult eyes, is the Three Ninjas franchise. One day
I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say it because I
like the first one.
None of the kids can fight for shit, but this is where I learned how to do pressure points. And as a fat kid in grade school, if I knew how to light up the eyes, I learned that from the Three Ninjas, and I've used that many, many times. Where to punch on that dummy, make the eyes light up, and I learned that from Three Ninjas. But I learned nothing from the Wizard.
If I had known how to throw Hulk Hogan from the top of Mega Mountain, I would have done it.
Let's talk about again tangents again. The cast of Three Ninjas at whatever fucking mountain. The villains are Lonnie Anderson and Jim Varney. Okay, you have to love that, you know.
Argus gets cuckolded.
Oh God.
Lonnie was looking good.
Oh yeah, you know. Well, they sell implements for that now.
Oh, let me rephrase that. Lonnie Anderson in the leather clothes in that movie. She's looking so good too, you know. But I digress. The Wizard is the Wizard. You like it or you don't. Nostalgia monsters like myself love this fucking movie, and yeah, I have to still love it too. Although you guys hate it, and I was waiting for the hatred to come in, and I got it. And this is why this is the Cinema Beef podcast, because you know occasionally I'll throw stuff their way to say, hey, what do you think of this? It's shit. And when I say,
this is what you get for this is what you get for being younger. Damn you.
One day we'll talk about Surf Ninjas and we'll talk about how racist it is, and you're just gonna love that movie, okay? Well, one day, okay.
Oh fuck.
Surf Ninjas, starring Ernie Reyes Jr. and Sr. together. It's very important. But this has been our review of The Wizard. I'm so flabbergasted because there were so many tangents to not talk about The Wizard.
Like areas of light. I'm sorry.
Because we were trying to do our best not to talk about The Wizard. So we found different avenues.
We'll be right back where I think the intentions are more true with our review of Searching for Bobby Fischer right after the trailer.
It's unsettling, isn't it? When you realize there are only so many things you can teach a child. And finally, they are who they are.
I took Josh to the park today.
Sure.
He played chess.
He doesn't know how to play chess. Doesn't even tie his shoes.
I'm playing chess with my dad. It's a game like Monopoly.
In a world that thrives on competition.
Why do you want your son to play chess?
Oh, I don't. He does. He taught himself.
In a game where winning means the world.
Tell me, is the next Bobby Fischer somewhere in this room?
A challenge has begun.
Your son creates like Fisher. He sees like him. Inside.
You're playing not to lose, Josh. You got to risk losing. You got to risk everything.
I was wondering if you could keep him from playing there so much.
No. We didn't kill him not to play in the park. He loves it.
Just makes my job harder.
Then your job's harder.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's it.
My son has a gift. He is better at this than I have ever been at anything in my life.
You have to have contempt for your opponents. Because if you don't think it's a part of winning, you're wrong.
Trick or treat.
You have to hate them.
But I don't.
They hate you. They hate you, Josh.
Get out of my house.
To put a child in a position to care about winning and not to prepare him is wrong.
The better I play, the better I have to play.
That's just the way it works.
Maybe it's better not to be the best. Josh is in trouble.
Don't move until you see it.
He's not afraid of losing. He's afraid of losing your love.
Sorry, Daddy, I can't see it.
He knows you think he's weak, but he's not weak. He's decent. And if you or anyone else tries to beat that out of him, I swear to God, I'll take him away.
Joe Mantegna, Lawrence Fishburne, Joan Allen, Max Pomerantz, and Ben Kingsley. Searching for Bobby Fischer.
You're a much stronger player than I was at your age.
Searching for Bobby Fischer from 1993. Again, I was 12 years old, people, when this came out. Directed by Steve
Zalian.
Zalian, who also was a writer on this, but wrote many interesting things that I would tell you about right now. I'd say better than this. No, he started his career with Falcon and the Snowman in '85. Wrote Awakenings for good old Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. Wrote Jack the Bear. We'll talk about Jack the Bear one day with Danny DeVito. Directed by Danny. Very personal to me, that movie, and more than this film. Schindler's List, Clear Present Danger, Brian De Palma's Mission Impossible, the first one. Civil Action, Gangs in New York. He wrote Moneyball. I would tell folks, if you're not interested in sports at all, that you should watch Moneyball, because it is a film that if you don't give a fuck about sports, it doesn't matter, because it's that interesting to watch Moneyball, you know? The American remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, he wrote that. Morris Scorsese, The Irishman recently. Wrote a lot of cool things.
What?
He wrote a lot of cool things to get the director and writer of this movie. Also the book written by Fred Waitzkin, the real book, which I should read one day. I haven't done that, and really should get to that. This stars Joe Mantegna as Fred Waitzkin, Max Pomerantz as Josh Waitzkin, who didn't do a whole lot after this. He did like a couple things, and then didn't want to act anymore. So he's kind of like the real kid in this movie, to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this chess thing, on my own terms, and I respect that kid for that. Sir Ben Kingsley as Bruce, the coach. Joan Allen as Bonnie, the mom. Always good and stuff. I love Joan Allen. David Paymer as Dickhead Dad. Kaylee. I hate that guy so much. We'll talk about that. His son Morgan. Hal Scardino. Josh's little buddy. Lots of folks show up in this movie. William H. Macy. Dan Hedaya shows up in this movie. Anthony Held, who I know from Boston Public, which is a great TV show. Josh Mostel shows up. Laura Linney shows up. Fucking Tony Shalhoub in a great small role shows up in this movie. He's just one of the gummy bears, man. The great Larry Fishburne, how did I leave him out? As Vinny, Josh's other coach from Washington Park. Great role. Was going to be played by Ice-T of all people. Both be very interesting to me if he played it or Fishburne played it. But I love this film for all the right reasons, not for nostalgia reasons. I'll talk about my feelings after Suzanne and X tell theirs. Suzanne, first time watch, I'd imagine for you, but the plot synopsis, I haven't said the last one. A prepubescent chess prodigy is encouraged to harden himself in order to become a champion like the famous but unlikable Bobby Fischer. And anti-Semite, I'll mention, because that's a thing. We'll talk about that later in some of the trivia.
I've had to harden myself too, but not in chess.
I'll say it right. I'll say it right now, because he hated this film because he thought it was part of the Jewish conspiracy. This film, for some reason, he was that anti-Semitic.
Oh Jesus!
This film was anti-Semitic. I think that, it showed him in the best light possible without calling him a giant fucking douchebag, fucking Bobby Fischer. But I digress. Suzanne, your thoughts on this film that I love? Please be kind. Yes.
I have to admit, when this came out, once again, and you've heard me say it many times, just no interest whatsoever. And it was a first time watch. I actually really, really enjoyed the movie. I see a lot of things in this movie I love the fact that he got captivated by watching the speed chess. And then when they set him up with somebody who was a real master player, and the master player tried to take the things that made him special away. I'm glad, Mom, what the fuck was her? It doesn't really matter what her name was. But Mom, pretty much told, your uptight teacher, no, he will do what he wants. He will do what he likes. Get out of my house. The fact that his dad was the one, his dad's sports writer. Of course, you want your child to excel at whatever it is, but he excelled at everything that he played. He just was one of those great minds that even playing baseball, you have to be smart. Made him chess makes. I've learned chess. Am I good at it? Not even goddamn remotely. But I've beat Pat twice out of about 755 games. But it's a thinking person's movie. There's so many things about this movie that I really wanted to hate, but I really found myself enjoying. When that first gambit that he set up on the table, and he's like, no, I have to see it. Then he knocked all the chess pieces off and made him think. It looked like an asshole move, but it really wasn't. And yeah, chess parents are, I think, worse than soccer moms, because those people, they didn't attack each other. They beat the shit out of their kids, and no one said shit about it. And when the poor child was finally, his dad was pushing him so hard that he threw the game. Immediately. You don't know immediately that he threw the game, but automatically he threw the game. It is those two standing out in the rain and his dad's fucking berating him. And he asked his dad, do you still love me? That was fucking harsh. I think Lawrence Fishburne just embodied that role. And the little 10-year-old asshole, I felt bad for that kid. I mean, can you imagine being forced so hard to be so perfect? It's untenable. You don't know the damage you're doing. That kid is going to go get heroin. Okay, this is a joke. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But I found myself really falling into the story. It was a great story about someone who... Chess is one of those weird things. You either can see it or you can't. I play chess. I don't see it. I'm more of a, I'm going to do this now and see if it pays off. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a nice little low-key movie. Actually recommended it to a couple of my friends after I watched it, going, just don't go into it with any expectations, just watch it. Lawrence Fishburne, though, oh my God, he stole the show for me. He really did, because he taught something that, your master is never going to teach. Thinking fast and thinking ahead. But having someone yelling and, making jokes and, no, advance coming in, and, oh, yeah. He taught that boy something that any master player would never, ever going to be able to teach him. I'm glad that the family unit came together in this movie, as opposed to the wizard, when I'm like, all you people fucking suck. I have to admit, it was a really good watch for me. I didn't expect to like it because it was just one of those things. And I know both of you have heard me say, no interest. No interest, not wasting my time. I'm glad that I watched this movie. I truly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that Dad started pushing too hard. And I'll have to admit, my favorite scene was with the little asshole 10-year-old. Actually, no, I can't say it because it was kind of rude, but apparently the chess parents are worse than soccer moms, because that man just painted that boy's face. And it's weird. It was one of those weird scenes. You don't realize what's going on, but you know what's going on, but you don't realize it. When they're standing outside that glass wall that's so completely obscured, you can see him just painting that kid's face. I mean, is that really necessary? Is it that important to excel? And I think the point of this movie is just be yourself, be good at what you're good at. But the pressure from above, the pressure from your parents is terrible. It's like the helicopter parents now. You don't realize the damage you've done. When Dad finally realized what he had done, thank you, Mom, and just backed off and let him just do what he wanted to do. Let him play the way he wants to play. And you know what? You've got a more well-rounded human being. That, like I said, that scene that you don't see, but you see behind the glass wall. When he got beat, he offered him the draw. He knew the moves. He knew how many it was going to take, but he absolutely refused because he didn't see it. That was horrible. And how many times do we see on the news some fucking overzealous soccer mom, soccer dad decides to go just pound the shit out of somebody? Come on. There's a big lesson to be learned from this movie, and I think more people need to pay attention to it. I truly enjoyed this, and thank you, Gary, because I never would have watched this without this show.
Yeah, I'm glad you. My heart is full. I'm glad you dug it, and I would yeah, I'll talk about my feelings when it's my turn. X, what'd you think about the film, sir?
Let's get the toilet paper out.
There are times when a movie comes out that everybody seems to love. It's a crowd pleaser. It gets critical praise. It wins an Oscar, which this movie did for cinematography. And I have come to realize that those movies, more often than not, are not designed for me. And Searching for Bobby Fischer is definitely not for me. Now, look, I know that it's based on 4 or 5 true stories that are far more interesting than this movie, about how Bobby Fischer dropped out of sight after he won the championship, how the Russian chess player in the park is based on a real chess champion who became homeless and challenged people to chess games for money. That's all well and good, and these are stories that I may research later. But for me, the problem with Searching for Bobby Fischer is that it's a construct. It's not a movie. It's an exercise in manipulation. You've got the kid, Josh, who's really good at chess, and his dad gets all power hungry and pushes the kid further up the ranks. You've got the chess teacher who plays by the book, and then you've got the chess player who's a loose cannon and just plays speed chess in Washington Square. And then there's Mom, who just loves her kid because he's got a good heart. And Mom is Joan Allen, and Joan Allen's entire career is, I'm skinny, but I have great tits. And then there's the evil kid who barely speaks a word, and he becomes our hero's arch enemy. He's the Unichessel soldier, and he really is to blame, right down to the scowl and the questionable hair. There's no nuance here. So for a movie based on real events, the script relies on a lot of stereotypes. They dressed Ben Kingsley up like a prim, metrosexual Roy Batty. They turned Larry Fishburne into a chain-smoking do-rag guy. And look, I'm not down to make fun of child actors, okay? I know what happened to Jake Lloyd, and I don't want to contribute, but let me say this. The character of Josh seems weirdly uninterested in the events of the film. He treats self-doubt and loss basically the same way that he treats victory. He spends the entire movie on the verge of tears. He's there, but he's not there. And by the time we get to the climactic chess game between Josh and Drago Jr., we don't care. We don't care because Josh doesn't care. And even when he realizes he can win, and Ben Kingsley's in the other room dictating the action like some kind of skinny white anorexic Morpheus, the kid's resting pout face undercuts what should be a victorious moment. So for me, Searching for Bobby Fischer was pretty much nothing but a delivery system for a heart-tugging James Horner score, God rest him. There are 3 volume levels in this movie. There's whispering, there's screaming, and then there's the soundtrack. This is what I call a Ride the Fader sort of movie. But in the end, I felt nothing about the people or their conflicts or their wins or losses. And when a movie competently designed by Hollywood to make me feel something makes me feel nothing except glad when it ends, then I can't count that film as a success.
I do have to add a point there because, you mentioned something about Joan Allen. And I've gone over in my head every movie I've seen her in. And yeah, you're right, because she's the same stick figure with big tits in every movie. I mean, look at Pleasantville.
Me and X covered
All
that.
of a sudden,
Go back.
you brought up.
Go back and listen to that episode with Zootopia and fucking Pleasantville. Come on now. Yeah.
Oh God, I've got to go back and listen to that. But no, I mean, honestly, maybe I'll be honest. It could be the drugs I was on because I was like, bad pain day, and I was a little bit more. I don't want to say nostalgic, but in a happier mood. But I don't know. You brought up proper points, and your points are all correct. I guess I found, and you're right. The kid was fucking morose through the whole thing. But I mean, when he started throwing games, but I mean, once again, you're right. No emotion whatsoever. I really wanted to like fucking throw a punch at his dad, saying, "I threw it because I'm sick of this shit."
I learned it from watching you.
But no, wonderful points. And now I have got a little bit more to think about. So thank you.
So what you're saying is you don't like the drugs, but the drugs like Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, my painkillers. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my feelings on this film. There's a lot of feelings in this film, and I bring up a lot when I talk about this film about the Suzanne brought it up, the activities and the actions of sports dads. Whereas Josh's dad, who Fred Joe Montana, again plays the role very well, but he falls in to his son's talent. He exploits his son's talent in a way to the point where he's calling other children potsers. And this is something that you don't do as an adult, is call fellow 10-year-olds potsers. And what I love about, the turnaround, there's a scene in this film that I have a little tear in my eye when it happens, where Josh has cleaned his room of everything that he loves, baseball and everything. He has like one poster on his wall, and he's sitting at his desk writing chess scenarios on a piece of paper. And that's the moment that Fred realizes that, you know what, I'm doing fucking too much, and my son does not enjoy what he's doing anymore. Now, if there's more parents like that in this world, like Alyssa, Suzanne's met Alyssa, she didn't want to play softball anymore because she just wasn't great at it. Now some other parent would say, well, you're going to play anyway because I put all this money into it, blah, 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 because sports cost a lot of money. But, my cousin Hillary, her mother, said, you know what, okay, I'm okay with this. Now, this is what Fred should have done at the beginning, instead of becoming like the monster he became, like the rest of these fucking chess fathers. But that's an important scene to me. I love the two coaches. We got one side, you got Larry Fishburne as Vinny, and you got the other side, you got Ben Kingsley as Bruce. One is teaching him off like a proper coach, pick a sport. Larry Fishburne is teaching him to aggressive offense, whereas Bruce is teaching him, Ben Kingsley's character is teaching him defense in situations and scenarios. So when the two come together, the two teachings come together, and they come together, it's very satisfying to me. Like he become a complete player in a way to where he can go do that and go there. It's a great moment of the film. You guys mentioned in the end the other day, Josh sees the scenario, and he's going to get checkmate in 17 moves, and he gives the kid a way out. Now in real life, this match was a draw, and this kid's family up here was fucked up because they were like nomads who would go from place to place. I guess for him to play more chess. I don't know how this works, but they literally moved around like fucking gypsies, and it was I imagine that kid, the real kid, had a real strange life. Um, I love the small roles in this film. There's a scene where they first come to Bruce's place, where a bunch of old dudes who are playing chess, and there's Tony Shalhoub just sitting there with a beard, and he just got his ass handed to him, but the kid wants to play, and he asks for a gummy bear, a real simple shit, and Josh gives him a gummy bear, and then he asks for a second one, and then when he loses, he leaves the bag with the guy. I think that's a nice. It's filled with nice moments like that, and it shows. And I was brought up this way, not to be full of yourself. Like a lot of kids in the film are humble, and I think Josh is very humble to the point of where mom discovers that he could play chess, and dad wants to see how he could play, but he doesn't have the heart to hand his dad his ass in the chess, so he throws the game until the second part. It's like the only arrogant part of the film, to where he's like, "No, go ahead, lay it on me." Where Josh keeps going back and forth on the phone and watching television while his dad thinks about his next move, and of course he hands his dad his ass. That's like the only arrogant moment of the film for me, and I just I love the dynamic of it all. It's very, very strange to where you see people like David Paymer, who's one of the biggest assholes of the entire film because he's picking on Josh's poor buddy Morgan, who if you see in the Indian in the Cupboard, that movie, he shows up as a lead in that movie. This kid, and he parades the kid constantly, like, why'd you bring the queen out so soon, and this, that, or the other, where he wants to be just like Josh, to where before this, they had 2 weeks of fishing, and wasn't allowed to talk about chess or anything. They just wanted to fish. He wanted this too, and I think a lot of kids want this, but just like Josh, I'm gonna start crying here for a second. I shouldn't do this. The approval of your parents is very important when you're 10 years old. There's a lot of emotions there, and I feel a lot of the emotions here, when I think about, the shit I was doing at 10, 12 years old, that would disappoint my parents, that I'd be worried about, like, is this good enough? That's the big question. And I watched this video, Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Again, I'm getting emotional again. I'm sorry about this. There's a song that Daniel the Striped Tiger, which is Fred's like alter ego, sings with Lady Aberlin, called "Mistake," and the whole song is Daniel the Striped Tiger, talking about how he feels since he's so small and so tame that he's worthless as a tiger, and he literally lays it on her like, "Am I a mistake?" And she sings back, trying to encourage him that he is not. In the whole song, that the tiger, who is Fred, letting these emotions out, is saying back to her, no, I think I'm still not right. And in the end of the song, they come together, of course. But this is a video I watch at least 20 times in a year, depending on how I'm feeling that day. So all of the emotions that Josh is feeling in this film, I feel sometimes as an adult. The approval of my peers. This is why you see huge gaps in my podcast, because if I'm not into it, I can't perform for you people. Josh wasn't into the chess thing, and he cannot perform for his father, who essentially he was trying to get approval of for most of this film, and approval of his coaches, but mostly dad, because they have a whole shouting match, him and his mom, Fred and Bonnie, Joan Allen and Joe Mantegna, about how many of those ball players that you write about want the approval of your father, and he screams all of them, because I've never been an athlete, but I've heard athletes talk, and I've seen parents at games, whether they're toxic or if they're there for the love. That's what they're looking for, the approval of their father, and that scene hit home with me a little too hard. I'm going off on tangents here, but it's all important, and This is why this film is so important to me, because I watch it as a 43-year-old man and still get these same feelings. I can't help myself, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm sorry, I rambled so bad. Um, X, anything else you want to say about the film?
First of all, how was that a ramble? You've heard my shows, bruv.
I know.
I mean, dude, I completely understand. And you know what? I cared about pleasing my dad until I realized that he didn't really give a shit about what I thought or what I did. So, but I do have to say this because I have to be honest and fair to myself. Neither of these movies made me nostalgic for anything.
And that's fine.
That's because I never had those things. No one gave a shit what I did when I was a kid. And I did the things I liked because I liked them and not because I had a parental figure with their finger up my ass trying to work my willpower like a puppet, like Josh in Searching for Bobby Fischer. And I wasn't nearly as fucked up then as I am now, but I wasn't raised to be humble. I had to learn that on my own as I grew older, and that was probably more difficult than if I had grown up with those ethics. So based on what you've just said, dude, I completely understand why this movie is important to you, and I kind of feel shitty about all the horrible things I just said about it.
No, don't do that. It's okay.
But yeah, I just strictly on a filmic sense, it didn't work for me. I wanted something more. I wanted something deeper and more grounded, and I didn't get that. So that's where I'm at with Bobby Fischer, or Searching for Bobby Fischer. Not Bobby Fischer as a human. I've never met him.
Oh my gosh, Suzanne.
No, I mean, I think the main point of this movie is all about parental approval. You know, my dad was non-existent. Did I try to do anything to make him approve of me? You hit a point where you just give up. I mean, the only person in my life while I was growing up whose approval meant anything to me was my grandmother's. And you know what? Every day that I woke up, my grandmother approved of me. I didn't have to. I was good at a couple of things. Was I great? Fuck no. But she came and watched all of my games. She was there when I got my honor roll certificates, which I pretty much did solely to piss everybody else off, including my dad. Just literally. My dad was like pretty sure about the time I was 16 I was going to drop out of high school and get knocked up. So glad I proved him wrong there.
Fuck yeah.
There's like a lot there, but we're just really not going to unpack that tonight.
Oh, well,
but
we live in a world that when we were kids, and this is where our generations match. We had, if our father or whatever was kind of lackluster, if you loved him or not, you had about 14 surrogate aunties and uncles that said these were your parents' friends or something that you'd want to spend more time with than your parents. So
yeah,
these are folks.
Yeah, my mom and my grandma and grandpa were always present. They were the ones. If I really wish my one grandfather had not passed away when he did, because there's a good chance I would be a completely different person. Good thing, bad thing, I don't know. It's left up to the imagination. But I mean, I guess the one thing this movie brought out in me is that, the searching for the approval. I'm so glad that at one point in my life, I just gave up on that. I'm like, you know what? The only person that I really need to make happy is myself. Yeah, am I going to fuck up along the way a lot? Hell yeah. And did I? Yes. Am I in a good place as an adult now? I am 52 fucking years old. Yes. I'm very happy. Were there things I'd love to change? Some. But it's approval is not everything. You have really got to fucking soul search figure out who the hell you are as a person and how you want to use or abuse that. You know, a couple of my friends have gone in two different directions. I'm going to go off on a tear now. So put on your seatbelts, kids. Some of my friends some of my friends excelled. One of them is a fucking mathematics professor in an Ivy League college. Some of them, I've gone to their funerals. I feel like I'm riding that mid thing right in between going off the rails and constantly trying to do the right thing. It's not easy. And I think that's what, believe me, this is, I agree with that. It's not a well put together movie, but it did make me think a lot. I am nowhere near the ideal human. I am such a freaking disaster. Oh, believe me. Disaster. You could name a hurricane after me, and they really do need to have a Hurricane Suzanne coming up because they had Hurricane Debbie. Are you fucking kidding me? Hurricane Debbie? Hell no. But I think there's.
I had a joke there. The Temptress of Waikiki. You gotta get that. You gotta see Adam's Family Values to get that joke. You know, that's
Yeah, Debbie did Florida. But it does bring up a lot of, for me at least, it made me start questioning myself. I swear to God, there are times I think I dropped out of my mother's womb at about 30 years old. You know, it's typical kid shit, but I was always more adult. And there are times, and one thing I love about my husband, he realizes this and tries to make me be a kid again, which is really difficult for me. But you're never, ever looking at the kids in this movie, at least the portrayals of what they were doing. You know, you're never going to get that youth back. And I think that's the hard thing that causes, you got to admit, just a little bit of reflection. How far did some people try to go to please their parents? It's not an easy thing. I'm glad I really just didn't give a shit either way and decided I was going to do what was best for me. And I think it worked out well. It's, like I said, it's a reflective movie. I get everything that you said, X. I really do, because your points are 100% accurate. I guess, and I'm going to blame this on drugs, prescription drugs, in case anybody's listening. Thank you, CIA. That it's about, the heart of the movie is about trying to please other people and the futility of pleasing other people. No matter what you do, believe me, when I was working Thursday nights, it was my favorite night to work because I would get all of the softball dads in. Oh my God, these were a fucking horrible lot of fucking people. I mean, I had two dudes about to fucking fist fight over whose kid was going to be the pitcher. Like, oh my God, seriously, you got to be kidding me.
I've been there for it for the softball, but softball moms just being fucking monsters, you know.
Oh, and I'm sure the moms were a lot worse than the dads. All I had to do is look at them and go, "Will you two just shut the fuck up?
Oh, no, you don't.
Are you two gonna fist fight? Go outside. Actually, go across the street."
And the biggest argument, here is fucking mothers fighting over what's a ball and what's a strike. I was like, in baseball and any sports ball where you hit the ball like that, there's one rule: you cannot argue balls and strikes with the umpire. You can't.
No, you can't. No, it's a rule. But it's, for me, like I said, that is the one point I'm blaming drugs that I took away from this movie, was the whole parental approval thing. And seeing,
it's a huge theme in the movie. It really is.
Well, I think that's why it may have connected with me. I'm sure if I'd watched this a year ago before, I might have had a different take on it. But right now, it's a little bit reflective of approval. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm having a hard time because, unfortunately, I'm dependent on other people, and I seek their approval, so they don't think I'm trying to be a leech.
Yeah.
But it's not. I really just don't know quite how to rate the movie. for me, a feeling thing, is it a great movie? No. Did it bring up some stuff in me? Drugs? Yeah, a little bit. But I'm going to leave this a non-rating right now because I can't quantify it.
Cool. I understand. I'm gonna sing a few bars for you guys. This is my feelings coming out. This and "The Beast in Me" by Johnny Cash are like go-to songs for me because they describe me perfectly. Here we go. Daniel the Striped Tiger. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a mistake. I'm not like anyone else I know when I'm asleep or even awake. Sometimes I get to dreaming that I'm just a fake. I'm not like anyone else. Now, do you see why I go to this constantly, people? It's like therapy for me. This fucking Tiger and Lady Aberlin just pouring their hearts out, for my therapy. So, you know, there's more to that song because she comes in and does like a round with him, and just go to YouTube and watch it. It's wonderful. But my feelings on this movie is everything I said and Suzanne said about the idea of approval is a big deal in this film, and it portrays it so well in my opinion. Approval of your parents, approval of your peers, your coaches, all these people that may be in your life. At the same time you make mistakes as a kid. You make plenty of mistakes as a kid. You make plenty of mistakes as an adult. Whether you're 10, 15, 35, 46, you're looking for that approval of somebody, and whether you realize it or not, and it's portrayed so well in this movie. This is what keeps you coming back to it. This is a 4 out of 5 for me because I get emotional when I watch it still, and that's one of the big takeaways for films for me is does it have some kind of impact on me? And this film, every time I watch it, I get these feelings, so it impacted me in that way. Oh my gosh. A lot of emotions happen in this review, guys. I'm sorry.
That's why I love you.
We will come right back and close out the show.
The Power Glove for your Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you and the games are one. Everything else is child's play.
Thank you so much for listening to the banter, but this is the end of another Sin Beef podcast. What a lot better than I thought, because Suzanne didn't really say how she felt about the second film. I was waiting for her to bash it a little bit, and it really didn't happen. And X, I respect everything you say, sir. You know this, but
I'm glad because goddamn,
everything you say I respect. Again, it's a Scott Pilgrim argument. Everything you say is true, but I still love it. So it's yeah. X, any updates on the Kiss the Goat action, brother?
Still working it. It's happening eventually. I don't know when, y'all. I'm sorry. I've been so busy with other stuff. This summer has been jam-packed. So shit. I'll get to it when I can.
It's fine. I'm not telling you to feel bad or anything.
No. I mean, I do feel badly about it. I feel that pressure about it. I don't know if I need parental approval because they don't listen to my shit. But yeah, it's something that I need to get done, but I'm trying to do other things.
You need some therapy from the Tiger and Lady Aberlin, okay? That's what you need right now on your life. Yeah.
I mean, fuck. You're not wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got tagged to do my Halloween 31 reviews, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to write by then.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for you, girl.
I feel so fucking broken.
Get addicted to it like they have with the Flintstones, okay? You know?
I know, but you don't understand. When I write, I have my main thoughts have to be handwritten. It's just this weird little cue with me. I have to write out.
Do you hear sparrows
and
when you start to write?
The sparrows are flying. it acts. You're a writer. You understand. You've got certain things that you need to do to get that thing. You have to get the yeah. And that's how I am. And I even got like a thing because I started following rugby and following the Chicago Hounds. So, I kind of wrote a few things, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to do something when in our newsletter?" I'm like, no, maybe next season, but no, I can't do anything right now, and I feel like I'm lesser of a human right now because I'm broken. I've not been this broken ever, and I'm having a very, very difficult time. And I don't like where I am right now. I know I'm at the end of the tunnel. I'm on the other side of the hump, but this has been fucking nightmarish.
Suzanne,
I sleep.
Let me take a second here just to help you, okay? Often I wonder if I'm a mistake. I'm not supposed to be scared, am I? Sometimes I cry and sometimes I shake. Wonder isn't true that the strong never break. I'm not like anyone else. This comes in. I think you are just fine as you are. Because trying to make you feel better, see? So I make you feel better, so,
You're wonderful, Gary. And I think I've told you this before. I don't know how I would ever be without your friendship.
Mutual, babe. Mutual to the both of you.
I know. It's this, you have no idea. My self-confidence is so gone. My ego, I don't even want to say it's bruised and battered. It's literally a fucking 90-second Mike Tyson knockout. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin right now. And I'm so desperately trying to get back to any little thing that makes me me. And I'm really fucking suffering.
Did you hear that? Somebody needs to rebuild her, if they have the money,
The technology.
And technology, yes.
Yeah.
You jump in the air and then you'll make a noise. It really helps, It's just
all I did was break my shoulder, and somehow every other portion of my personality has been shattered in the process.
Trying to bring you up from that,
It'll get better. I'm on the other side, but this fucking sucks. You have no idea how much this fucking sucks.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah, go for it.
All right, kids. I'm sorry. I'm through complaining.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys listening to me. I do appreciate it. I had so much fun tonight.
So much fun here too.
I literally told my husband and my mother to please go the fuck away.
Yeah, the next show you should hear. I believe it could be it could be a couple things. I'm gonna get together with I think Cameron's is back from obscurity in Canada hunting the Wolverines. Perhaps I don't know what Cameron's doing, but if we can get together.
Yeah, Cameron and I still need to do Monster Dog.
That's fine. We did Monster Dog a while ago.
I know, but Cameron and I were talking about we sat here when they came last year for Flashback and discussed how much we both love Monster Dog. And he's like, "Oh my God, we gotta do this."
Jack the Ripper.
But I feel. And I remember sitting and talking to Alice Cooper and saying, "I don't know why they dubbed your voice. You have such a beautiful voice." And I'm sitting there, "Oh my God, you're such an idiot." In my head. But thank you guys. I am enjoying this so much. What are we doing next?
I don't know for sure what we're doing next. I have a couple planned shows, but it might be if the Torches guys can make it next week or the week after, whenever we record. I don't know when. But those guys, we're gonna do Event Horizon and Galaxy of Terror together. It's been talked about to do that. Should be a great episode. All that good stuff. I had other.
Oh my God. We'll have to start 2 hours early because I will wax poetic on both of those.
Yeah, I think while it's still summer, if that happen next week, we're gonna do The Harder They Come and The Mighty Quinn because it was a show we're supposed to do a long time ago, and I think it's.
Yeah, we're supposed to do it when I got back from Jamaica.
So yeah, that's Suzanne's Jamaica show that never happened. So I think we're gonna do it because it's still summertime, and it would be a lot of fun to do those two films together. I remember enjoying the Mighty Quinn quite a bit. I love Robert Townsend, and you get a young Denzel in that movie. And
I've never seen either of them.
Oh.
No, the Mighty Quinn is really, really good, and so is The Harder They Come.
Just think of The Harder They Come as a ghetto Jamaican Scarface, because that's basically what that whole film is.
Oh my goodness!
Jax, you are going to fucking love it.
The plot
it's gritty, like I said.
Jimmy Cliff comes to Kingston, and he wants to make a record like everybody else, and he gets fucked over. So he's like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm going to just start shooting people and stuff, and it's pretty good.
It sounds like Predator 2.
Oh, it doesn't have Gary Busey in it though. So.
Well.
No, I think you'll truly enjoy both of the movies. I know you. I think you'll enjoy them.
So
let's just do Jamaica.
It'll be one or two of those things. I'm looking.
No, come on, let's do the Jamaica show a year and a half after I went to Jamaica.
There you go. Then that'd be fun. So it will give me that for the next episode. Whoever the Mighty Quinn and The Harder They Come. One of the original midnight movies, as they call them, coming at you in the heat of August on the Cinebeef podcast for the next episode.
Ooh.
This is where I'll leave you, though, guys. Me, Suzanne, X, Daniel the Striped Tiger, and Lady Aberlin will leave you to say this is Cinebeef podcast, where if you got beef, we've got the emotions, I guess. No, we got the grinder. Yeah.
We have the emotional grinder.
We have the emotional grinder, the organ grinder, if you will. We'll see y'all next time.
I'm still choking my emotions down.